is Flashpoint. Your turnaround story starts here, and I'm excited to be in this brand new space, and I'm testing out some technology as we're doing this. And I'm telling you, this is very exciting to be here with you. Now, I'm going to adjust the cameras here as we learn to navigate through this. And here we go. There we are. I'm with you here live. This is Flashpoint. The main focus is your turnaround story starts here. I'm excited to be kicking off this show on a brand new platform called E360 TV. And wait till you hear about this incredible platform. I thought about this as I was preparing for this show and
Welcome to the show. I'm your new host, Aaron Hymas. And my guest today will be Austin Heimes. He is the part of the co-author network and also the show host of Flashpoint. Well, I'm going to be able to tell my story today, which I'm pretty excited about telling you guys. I'm based out of Phoenix, Arizona, and I got a lot of dogs, got some cats, live in call the country and the city. But that's beside the point, and wife and all those things. But then besides that, I also run E360 TV, which is a streaming platform that's for independent storytellers and creators, and it's all about giving them a bigger stage. So what would I ask myself if I was conducting my own interview? I would tell you that, because there was a turnaround point. Oh, wait, here he is. Hey, welcome to the show, sir.
hey, you know what? We're here. We're live, and this is all about learning. And this is our first show. It'll be memorable already.
Yes, sir, it will.
Aaron, we had this great big introduction, and here it's like, there you go, you're live. But we're back on. Aaron, I'm glad you're here. Let's get a moment here to settle into this show for the next 30 minutes. You're going to be with us.
Okay.
And this is Flashpoint. It's your turnaround story starts here. Here's the one thing. I use everything as a teaching tool. That's number one. And when you do stuff like this, and Aaron, we can talk about this. There's an incredible amount of uncertainty, right? Mm-hmm. There's an incredible amount of things that are unpredictable.
Right.
When you go into this, that can freak you out, right? When you're starting a new platform, you're starting a new show like today, but here we are, right? We find a way to continue and to move forward. I had some technical difficulties right out of the gate, but that's going to make this more valuable because it's just proof that you don't have to have it perfect to start, right? But you got to start in order to strive for perfection. Yeah. And I don't know if you heard Tom Brady the other day. There was a quote. I'll just pull from it, whether you like Tom Brady or not. Here's the message. He said, "You're always striving for perfection, knowing that you'll never reach it."
That's a good quote.
I mean, isn't it a good quote?
Yeah, love them or like them or in middle of the road. That's a good quote, because that's kind of what it is, right? I mean, that's there's just no perfection as a goal. It's not a real. It's not super realistic,
Yeah, it isn't.
Because once you're to that certain point, then you go, well, wait a minute. Well, down the road, that looks even better. I should be going striving for that. And then so you just keep on advancing forward and stuff. And then next thing you know, you're dead. So, there you go.
Yeah.
It's all good.
So this is the first show, Aaron. It's already going to be memorable. I want to just lay a couple things out before we get into your story. Number one, we keep time here as a symbol. This is the hourglass that we look, and it's a reminder that the time is ticking. It's not to freak us out. It's to say the time is ticking for this show. But for everybody listening, my main goal is for you to get something, right? That's the main thing. I want you to grab something from Aaron's story, to hear how he started this platform, E360. And so this is a reminder that that's happening. Plus, we have the cowbell. Okay? The cowbell is, we're looking for cowbell moments of aha, right? We're gonna grab some of those moments. So be looking for your own moments as you're listening to the show. Of course, you're listening to the story, but listen to what Aaron has to say about his story. And then we're just going to have a heck of a lot of fun. And we want to hear from you. I want to hear from you, the audience, because you all have incredible insights and incredible ideas to share. So Aaron, are you ready to jump in and share your story?
Let's do this.
Let's do it. Yeah. So number one, I learned you're a dog lover. Hopefully I can get that picture up, but you have, how many dogs do you have?
I have 3.
You have 3 dogs, and how many cats?
We're 3.
3 cats, 3 dogs.
I had to think about it because we live in an area where there's a lot of coyotes, so we've lost a couple cats to the coyote.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah.
So it sounds like there might be another adoption somewhere in your future.
I don't know. I don't know if we can do it. Okay, we lost 4 cats in the last year, so to coyotes.
Oh my gosh! Why don't you tell everybody where you're hailing in from? I think they probably gave it away a little bit, but.
Well, I'm in Phoenix.
Okay.
I'm smack dab in the middle of Phoenix. We live right by the huge preserve areas. And so we get the javelinas, we get the quail, we get the coyotes, we have all sorts of wildlife around here. So it's the give and the take, It's a beautiful area. It's a beautiful area.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know about you. I'm a dog lover. Oh, somebody's saying, I love and want a dog. Love the hourglass concept. Let me get some of these shares up here as we're going through. What we're going to do with Aaron here, we're going to learn a little bit about his history, where he came from. With a media background, you got an MBA. I understand you have a lot of time and energy invested to get here. But what's exciting is what you're building. And that's how you and I got connected through Emilio. And here we are, and I'm really excited to work with you and to learn more about your story right now. So why don't you take us back a little bit? Let's kind of hear maybe, what happened before you got here. Maybe there were some moments that kind of before you even realized like you'd be doing something like this.
I came from corporate world about 10 years ago. I'll fast forward, don't worry. I'm not going to go 10 years and go day by day. But finally was at a position financially and also just mentally and everything like that, where I was like, you know what, I want to do something on my own. I want to branch out. And so I started that entrepreneurial path, and had a couple. First business was a little retail store. That was a lot of fun. But then it continued to move forward. What I loved about it is that, when you're sitting in some sort of corporate job, like let's say you're in sales, you're like, man, I think I would be awesome at marketing, but you never get a chance because you got to get into that department. You got to move up. And then even if you're in that department, you're slotted in one little spot. Well, what I loved about it is because you have to do all those things, which is a burden. And then it's also an opportunity, right? So fast forward, started working a lot of just kind of gig things, more like as in, it was a lot of project management roles. So it was consumer products for the manufacturing, all these other things. I was in between gigs looking for something kind of cool. and got introduced from some people I'd worked with out east in New York area, New York City. And it was looking at this OTT market, the over-the-top television, which is the streaming TV and such. And I thought it was cool. And I just thought, this is really, it's kind of Wild Westy. It's, still going.
Yeah.
And I found it interesting. So started going down that path, and then ended up, was going to work with a guy with his platform, but we didn't really see eye to eye. And the other person involved, the co-founder, Aggie Cobrin, she kind of just looked at me one day and says, we need to do this by ourselves. And I'm like, building a new brand, it's all that time and a lot of money. So finally we said, okay, let's do it. Let's just do this, and we just broke out and we just started down the venture of E360 TV. And it has been it's nothing what you thought it would be from the beginning, right? You're like, oh, it's going to be this and this, and it doesn't work out that way. But it turned out to something better than we thought. It was just really, really, really rad. The cowbell.
You just rang the cowbell because this is a theme that we talk about consistently. It's better than I thought. Yeah. And you just reiterated it, and we're just getting to know each other, by the way, full transparency. Aaron and I spoke, we hit it off. It's been great, but you get to know people, you get to work with them, and you're just, you hit that really nail on, what do you call it? Spot on about moving forward, not knowing, saying we got to do this, and talking about the entrepreneurial journey, because you were like, oh my goodness, this is going to take like a lot of money and effort and all the things that but there's that pull. There's that pull, right? We got to do this.
Yeah. It was, because to us, Aggie and myself, we're both the type of people where we're just like, we're not going to take no for an answer, for one. And two is that it has to work. It is going to work because, it's like I said, OTT, this whole entire area, this industry is so, no one knows all the perfect answers because it's still evolving, as things are moving along. It's technology based. So it's constantly in beta phase. And it's always evolving, right? So we just kept on moving forward, just moving along, trying to figure out, okay, what is the secret sauce to this whole thing? So we copied other people's models for a while. Yeah, we did that for our longest time. Let's sell ads, let's do this, let's do that, or whatever. And then last year is when we said, well, I was the one that I was like, there's got to be something better. It's got to be better for our audience. It's got to be better for the creators. It's got to be something that's a real pull that can actually satisfy all sides, right?
Yeah, business, absolutely.
Creators, absolutely. And the audience.
Yes.
Those three pillars right there. Those are the things.
Yes.
And that's when we started down the live journey.
Yes. And the thing is, like, we're on here. I had a tech issue. Like, everything that we're talking about is happening right now. That's what's great about this. Because here I am, we have a tech issue, but we got your shares coming up. By the way, we'd love to hear your shares. Please, what's on your mind as you're hearing this? What's on your heart as you're hearing this? And I have a big, huge announcement to make, by the way. Huge announcement in the next couple minutes. We're going to make this. But before we move forward, I want to hit on a couple things, Aaron. Is that okay?
Yeah.
The concept when you said OTT, right? Is that the acronym?
Yeah.
I never even heard that term before. I'm like, what's OTT? And now I'm getting an understanding of it and what you're talking about, like the Wild Wild West, because it's just this dynamic thing of over the top television that is unfolding. I want to dig for a moment. Was there any other moment you had, especially like in your corporate journey before we move forward, where you felt like, oh man, like I just can't do this anymore? Like was there ever even before, basically, let's go back before you came to that point where you were going to dive into E360, was there a moment where you said, man, there's something bigger for me to do?
I've felt that way you know what? I worked in banking for 10 years.
I'm
That's
sorry.
where I was bank. Yes, exactly. 100% not my personality type. But it was steady. And, I come from a family of like steadiness, and that's just the way it is. And I can just remember though, it wasn't like a certain moment, but I just remember kind of when you're sitting at those corporate things and they're hoorah-rahing you about we got a new policy and you're supposed to be super excited about a new policy. And you're like, I am so not excited about this. And I feel like I'm hollow and I'm just literally I don't know. It just felt, I couldn't imagine doing it my entire life. That's just not where, and anyways, that's where finally I was just like, either do it or don't do it. And now's the time and make the leap. Just got to do it, because there's never the right time to do it. I mean, you do have to position yourself in the right way because on the entrepreneurial path, you're going to start off, the money is going to go the wrong direction for too long. And it's all you. So if you fall, you break your leg, guess what? No income, So you really got to be in a position to be able to do it and then just take the leap and go for it, man. But it wasn't, it wasn't one spot. It was just this accumulation of feeling of just like, this is not for me anymore. I don't want to be here. I'm not happy.
Yeah. And so there was a pull for you long before E360 TV. I want to grab this because this is great. Elon Musk was questioned. Elon Musk, everybody knows Tesla. He's like this rogue kind of a crazy guy. Yeah. And he said he got a question. What encouragement would you give to entrepreneurs? So one of his fans was saying, Elon, what encouragement would you give an entrepreneur? And his response was, don't be, if you're looking for encouragement, don't be an entrepreneur.
Right.
So I thought that was awesome.
One of my things I have built in my brain is that, if there's a major obstacle in your business, and that can be in regulation, that can be in COVID, that could be so many things. As an entrepreneur, you have about 30 seconds of a whimper party where you can go, oh, poor me. And then you got to get back up.
Man, isn't that the truth?
You have to. And there is always 100% an opportunity and never challenge. And as an entrepreneur, that is like to your soul right there, that that, look, there's a problem going on. Let's figure out the solution. Let's figure it out.
Just like today. If you're just joining us, I had technical issues. My camera went out, my audio went out because I was doing this big fancy introduction. And then what do? I throw Aaron right in the show. And he's like, hey, it's the first show of Flashpoint. But it's, it's perfect. And there's always a benefit. I love that because what I want to ask you, Aaron, because first of all, how long have you been in? And let me say hello to Aaron. Hey, Aaron, thanks for joining us today. Awesome. Glad you're here. Maria Love, one of the co-authors. We got some big news here we're going to be announcing. But what would you say your journey in E360 is how long, number one? And then number two, what do you do personally as an entrepreneur to get over those rough spots?
So E360 TV has been around for about 4 years now.
4 years.
But we're always video on demand before, but until we did the live aspect. But what was your second question? What do you do when you're in rough spots?
Yes, because we're talking about, we went down this entrepreneurial path, and I believe you trust what shows up. And so we're on this topic. What do you tell people? Like, how do you deal with it? How do you deal with Because in what you're doing, it's like having a tiger by the toe. It's so dynamic. Every day you wake up, it's a new surprise.
It's just that, I mean, I don't know how else to explain it, that you just continuously move forward. I mean, I don't know how to, I'm not a hoorah-rah, you know, I'm not one of those guys. I'm not one that, if someone is having a bad day, I'm probably one of the worst people to come to, because I'll be like, get over it. You know what I mean? Things
Absolutely.
happen. This happens. It just does. And that's just the way it is. And if you're looking for perfection, you're looking for this or whatever like that, you're going to continue to look, because it doesn't exist.
Yes.
So what you need to do is every day is you need to get up, and you have your goals. You know where you want to be. You know that there's the incremental steps that are involved in that work breakdown structure, basically, of what you need to do to get there. And you need to start checking off those things. And when you come to a hurdle or something like that, you need to figure out how to go around that hurdle, or you need to outsource that hurdle, or you need to figure out what you need to do to pass that point. Because that hurdle is not your endpoint. You know, your endpoint's over here.
Yes.
You need to keep going. You need to figure it out. That's it. That's you just continue to move forward.
I love that. And actually, one of the things I'm going to hit on, and we're going to take a short little interlude. I got a big announcement here. One of the mantras that we say with Flashpoint, especially at the live events, is get free, right? Get free from whatever's holding you back. Stay present. Like we're in this moment right now, you're listening, be in the moment, and then move forward, which you just talked about. And that's so eloquent. And we're going to talk more about this. I have a big announcement. So we're going to take like a 30-second break, but I'm going to share something with you right now. So this is very exciting news, Aaron.
Yeah, cool.
Are you ready for this?
Oh God, let's do it.
All right, everyone, this is big news. Big news. You may want to screenshot this. All right, here we go. We'll be right back.
Tied into perfect motion, turned off the road to ruin. Let my imperfect notions fly with the wind of the thoughts and feelings. Life holds me a bigger dream. Love grows among the living. Songs of our laughter, my children will sing.
Wow.
Dang, look at this.
What do you think about that, everyone? Over the Top Television is giving us, Flashpoint, the opportunity, because of Aaron here at E360 TV, we will be hosting a live virtual summit for Flashpoint. All the co-authors you saw on there, we are launching a book. And what we decided to do is to do a virtual summit to highlight these amazing people. You're going to hear more about those people. I think Maria Love is on here. She works at the Bridge. You're going to hear incredible turnaround stories where people they were in the pit. They were going through the tough time with their business, their life, their relationships, and they turned it around. We're putting it in a book. Not only are we putting it in a book, we're going to do a live virtual summit. Not only are we doing a live virtual summit, because of the relationship with Aaron, what did you allow us to do?
Well, we're going to stream it across all of our endpoints. So that's going to be Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, Android TV, Android mobile, iOS, and social and web. So all simultaneously.
And you don't care about the content. In other words, you want it to represent your brand, but you don't care about owning the content. You want to help us distribute it.
Yeah,
Apple TV.
We are distributors, yes. Absolutely.
Apple TV, Amazon Fire, Roku, web. I'm excited because these people that I work with, it gives me the opportunity to love on them, to share their gifts with the world. And because of your platform, now we can take what we've been doing and start to 10X it and get the message out there that you can overcome. You can deal with these situations and move forward. So, Aaron, I want to thank you for that. I want to hope you're on here.
Here's the bottom line, right? E360 and what we do, we're distributors. We get it to a bigger stage. We get it to better places where it can be monetized, where those audiences are living. That's our job. But it is a hollow shell without the content, you know? So that's the thing. So I appreciate the thanks, but thank you for making valuable content. That's
well, you allowed our show to be on your platform, and I don't take that lightly. And we're excited to build this relationship. And here's the other good news, everyone. All of those people that you saw, and I'll play it again before we finish up, but all of those people you saw, they're going to be interviewed with me on this platform as well. So we're going to interview them individually, and we're going to have the summit where we're going to have a panel and we're going to have real life discussion, because I think now more than ever, and Aaron, you could share this, but I believe the great thing about OTT, over the top television, is that you can get more authentic interactions where there's less agendas involved. Sure, there's a business behind this. I'm building a business, you're building a business, but we're building a heart-centered business where we want to get to we want to create authenticity. We want to create conversations that matter, to get to what matters, to get to the truth, so people can grab distinctions and pull them into their own lives. And one of the things I said when I opened up from today is I want you to get something from this conversation. So you may want to type something in. If you got something today so far, please share that, because we want to hear that this is making sense to you, that you're hearing this and that you're learning something from it. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. So I want to make sure that we're giving you something of value. Is there anything else you want to share about that, Aaron?
Well, I think that's part of the whole centerpiece of what I think. That's why, when we had our initial conversations, that's what I'm listening for. Is I mean, everyone's building their brands, everyone's doing something like that, but that's not the point. That's not the content that you want. That's not, how lame is that? You know what I mean? An infomercial, something like that. It's gotta have something that is coming from a different place. Yes, there's a drive, of course, to it, but that's all media. That's everything. There's got to be a drive to it.
Yes.
But the thing is that 100% any type of content has to be value out. Has to be, hey, I'm putting something out there that's going to change someone's lives, or change their life, or at least at minimum make it a better day. And I think that I don't know, that's there's enough garbage in this world, and we're not about zero calorie content, those types of things. We're not about to add to that pile of rubbish.
Yeah, we want to create something different through this platform as well. What we want to do is we're going to close out here in the next maybe 10 minutes or so, but I want to talk more about your story, about you as a person and what you see for not only for yourself, but the E360 platform moving forward. So kind of maybe we look at those two things as a parallel, your story, your vision, and then coupled with the E360, which is an amazing platform.
Mm-hmm. Well, for myself, as an entrepreneur, you're basically married. Your work and everything like that is your life, and it's addicting. What can you do, right? But I'm a plant freak, man. Like we garden like crazy. I mean, on our house here, I think we have about I counted the other day, we have about 140 perennial plants around our property. And so, my thing is, that's my enjoyment. I love that. I love hanging out with my dogs, going hiking. And those are the things that I enjoy, and I want to do what I need to do for work to continue to enjoy those things. And work is work, money is money. Money's not real. It's just a tool we use. Yeah. But it's not real. We made it up. There's been a lot of currencies in this world, but so it's all about those relationships that you build along the way of your work and personal life. I mean, I have a wife that I absolutely adore. It's crazy. We've been together for 10 years, I'm not kidding. That we've never had one single argument in 10 years. That is weird. Okay, that is freaking weird, man.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just want to continue, but the OTT, I mean, man, now that it's like now that like I said, we were just in this huddled little stage for so long, and then we just broke through. Is about a quarter through last year. And it was just like everything was working. Like, you want to be conservative, right? You want to make, like, okay, is this all going to work like it's supposed to, right? Because you never know. Things might blow up.
Yes.
Everything kept on working. And every checklist that we weren't even announcing, like, would people get more viewership? Would they be able to monetize their content? Would our audience grow? All these things or whatever. And every single checklist was going, and it was like, holy crap, this is for real.
Yeah.
And the thing is that once you get in, then that point, all of those crazy ideas and dreams that you had for your business that were way back here, but you said, I got to get this thing to work first before I can even look at those crazy things. But now that's what I'm looking at for 2021, 2022 now for E360 is I'm like, we're doing all this stuff. We're doing all these crazy things. I can't even tell you these things. Otherwise, I have to have an NDA with you. But it's, yeah, as you can tell, I get some kind of stoked, man, because it's.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I think we're going to have co-authorships going. We're going to integrate that with the show here on E360. So we're excited about that. One thing I want to bring up, because I get this question. How do I find it on Apple? How do I find it on these other internet platforms? So I want to make sure that A, people can find E360 TV, and B, they can find Flashpoint, so they can be sitting in their living room and pull up their Amazon or whatever, and they can sit on their couch or watch it.
So from your favorite smart device, okay, phone, or you got a little Roku box, you got the little Apple box, you got your, Amazon Fire Stick and all that kind of stuff. You go to the search, you look up E360 TV, the app, and then you download the app, and then it's always on your device, and then you just watch from there. That's it. So you choose your device where you like to watch TV. I will give people a heads up that on the TV, our signal comes to versus social media, because social media dumbs down anyone's stream just slightly because of how much bandwidth that it all takes up. But so in our like the TV and stuff like that, it looks so super clear. So, if you have a Roku, which a ton of people have, Roku's the biggest one, of course, or those Fire Sticks or the Apple TV device, just download it and watch it on there if you can. You can't do the engagement like you can on social media, but that's what your phone's for. You have your phone going, but then you can watch on the big screen.
Sure. So it sounds like they can go to any one of those platforms. They're going to search for. Actually, I'm going to type it in so people can get it. It's E360 TV.
A little sign right there.
Yeah, there you go. E360 TV, and they can find that. Now, once they go there, how would they find like this show? They just go for.
Well, whatever your set time is, and then the category that you're under. So you're under Fresh Takes, which is Fresh Perspectives.
Fresh Takes, yeah.
Fresh Takes. And so the very first spots will be live, and then you just click on that area, the live part, and then you'll be able to see whatever program is live at the moment. Now, then what's nice is that that's the same category for your shows and everyone else's shows of where their video on demand will also be. So like when this episode is done, our content manager will transcode this thing and put it on your video on demand, and then people can watch reruns of the very, very beginning of this show, and it all went so right. I'm joking.
Well, let's talk about the time, because we're going to air. We were going to talk about airing every Friday at 1:03 p.m. By the way, is that? Yeah. So yeah. So that's what we're going to do. 1:03 p.m. And we need a couple extra minutes to get started, but that's what we're going to do. So every Friday, every Flashpoint Friday, 1:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you're going to see Flashpoint. You're going to hear great stories about people and their turnaround story. Aaron, I am excited to be here working with you. I'm excited to be on this summit with you. That's going to be pushed out as well. And for those of you that want to find us on Apple, like you said, you're going to go to whatever device, you're going to look for E360 TV, you're going to go under Fresh Takes, and you can find us there live every Friday at 1:03 p.m. Eastern Standard, or you can pull us on demand, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
As we close, as we get into the closing content here, is there anything that you would want to share for the listener who is somewhere on their journey of their turnaround? Maybe they've been isolated last year, and maybe they started a business, but things aren't going well. Maybe they're just, got this sense of malaise that something needs to change. What would you share with them?
I would say that a couple things. One is that for the entrepreneur, that if things aren't going perfectly, one, look for those different possible avenues where you can evolve the business, make the adjustments as needed. But even with that, though, is treat it like a trail, that you're hiking down, and you can't see around the bend exactly, what's around that, but just keep going full speed, because there's a 99% chance that once you get around that bend, that it's going to be a pleasant surprise. So you just keep moving forward. And then I think people that are kind of on the cuff, that, whether, it's been a different year, right? Except that it was a different year and for everyone, and they're really not alone. But to not live in fear. Don't let it consume you. Don't let it inhibit you. And when you can, hug the crap out of someone that you love, because
great. That's great.
At the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Somebody please type that in the comments. Hug the crap out of somebody you love. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Hug the crap out of somebody you love.
There you go.
The crap in a good way.
Absolutely. Well, because then all those things, the business stuff and all that kind of stuff, for that minute, it disappears.
It melts.
You're like, okay, it's going to be all right.
It's going to be all right. And on this note, they were commenting on your painted dog back there. Is that something you can share?
That's one of my dogs that passed away. My wife did that, and it's Parker. Yeah, he passed away a couple of years ago.
What kind of dog is that?
He was a pure Heimes 57. I mean, that dog, he was part pit bull. He was part, I have no idea, man. He was he was a big dog. He was like 60 pounds, but he was kind of, he wasn't the smartest of all dogs on this earth. But he was real lovable. So you couldn't help but just, love the crap out of him. So he's a good dog.
That's great. Well, Aaron, I am glad you're with us today. I'm glad that we got this thing off the ground. We're going to bring this in for a close. I'm going to share the big announcement again, the video that is announcing the big news. And Maria's saying yes to all of that. So we had cowbell today. We had the hourglass counting our time, say inspired, be productive, productivity. And we're honored to get this time with Aaron Hymas of E360 TV. The president. So we're in the right place for Flashpoint. We're in the right place for you. What are your insights? So if you're live or replay, I want you to type in your insights. Here's another one. Don't live in fear. Hug the crap out of somebody you love. There we go. That's a great share, Maria. Thank you so much. So Aaron, thank you. I'm gonna pull you out, and we're gonna share this exciting once again.
Take it easy.
Tied into perfect motion, turned off the road to ruin. Let my imperfect notions fly with the wind of the thoughts and feelings like
Everyone, I want to thank you so much for being here. I honor this time and this space to spend with you, whether you're live or on the replay. This is coming from the heart. I'm passionate about this. I'm passionate about your turnaround story. And I'm passionate about bringing these people that you just saw are going to be joining me on this platform. We're going to be interviewing them live. We're going to be extracting their stories. And then the next couple of weeks, we're going to have Dr. George Grant. You've been hearing about him. He's an incredible guy, 35 years in the wellness space, 3 doctorate degrees, biofeedback, nutrition, scientist. We're going to be talking about your health journey there. And then we're going to have Julie Gandy talking about inner peace, really talking about what does it take to get inner peace during these tough times. That's coming up in the upcoming weeks. So I invite you to stay plugged in, stay with us. This is Austin. This is Flashpoint. Your turnaround story starts right here. I'll see you next week at 1 o'clock, 1:03 Eastern Standard Time. Bye for now.